All right, well, welcome to Happy Ball, as we agreed on as of right now. And then we got some logos, and we'll dive into that. But yeah, first thing for our agenda is Iowa State ranked number 2, and they lost to Kansas at Kansas. So I'm going to say that, and it's one of those things that like we just as a program, you got to get over the hump. Now we've had some crazy upsets. We beat Kansas in Kansas, but like all of a sudden now here we come in Iowa State ranked, and I was like, I had a bad feeling all day about it.
I watched this one out of my side of my eye last night. It was yesterday. I think it
Yeah,
was.
man.
Didn't
Yeah.
matter.
It was your birthday, man.
Yeah, it was. It was yesterday. Kansas couldn't miss.
No, that was the other thing. Kansas played like
They
one of
shot
their,
51%
yeah, they played
from the
one of their
field. They
better.
shot 50% from the 3-point line.
Yeah. They had a guy who's had like career high numbers. And of course, it was like that game. And then we had Machulovic, who's like our huge shooter right now. He'll be a big prospect. Uh, he got in foul trouble early. So he was on the bench, which immediately took, the 3-point line weapon, like the kind of the guy you had to guard, which then led to us getting more points in the paint. And it just every single shot that was close, like we're talking everything rimmed out so many times. And it was
You had
just
a
one of
couple. You
those,
had a couple guys that looked like they had some stinkers from the
yeah,
starting staff.
yes, yeah, that was the thing. Some of our starters didn't
You had a
live.
couple guys off the bench do pretty well. I'm just looking at the box score.
Yeah.
You know,
Overall,
and I'm sure this will be a topic we talk about over the next couple months here with college football, but like, man, it is hard to know who is who in college basketball.
oh my gosh. At this point, we're in January. We're mid-January right now. It's January 14th we're talking right now. Um, to be, I feel like you don't really know your team until it's kind of almost like at this point in February, and then you're kind of grinding out to stay healthy, but also probably get yourself in a better position as you get into the March Madness bracketing.
Arizona number one's in a dogfight right now with Arizona State.
See, that's the thing. I was super excited because on March 2nd, Iowa State goes to Arizona, and at the time it was 1 versus 2, but it's like that's a long shot for that to happen. But statistically, there still could easily be two top 10 teams at that point because I think I was talking to you earlier, just when we talked, I said if anybody can win or go through the Big 12 with less than 5 losses in conference play, you've crushed it. Like you had
Yeah.
a great season. And the other thing is there's like 3 or 4 teams that all can do that right now in the Big 12. SEC is a little bit more spread out. So if we're talking hoops wise, Big Ten, they got a handful of weapons. So it's like there's a lot of great basketball, but
Dude,
it's
Michigan's playing Washington right now. They're only up by 7.
yeah. I was gonna say there's a lot of games on.
We should have gone to that game.
I was gonna say that was something we talked about, I think, was the Michigan Washington game.
You know,
It's
once
because
you're,
Michigan's got a good team
yeah,
and a pro prospect at
these
least.
games, they sneak up on you for basketball because there's
Two,
so
three,
many.
two or
Yeah.
three games a week, right? So
So what's Iowa State got next? What's the rebound look like?
shoot, I'm gonna look up their schedule right now. Iowa State, we've been, I like to say like I play. Let's see here.
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay. And that's not easy.
Also on the road.
Oh, yeah, the women are playing.
Then you play a 14-2 UCF the following weekend. That's at home.
I like our chances at home. The other thing is I feel like everybody in the Big 12 we're meeting up has more or less like a 10 or more win record.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of this thing of like, well, how hard were their non-conference games? What other tournaments did they non-conference tournaments did they join in and play somebody tough, whether it's like an Auburn,
Mm-hmm.
Alabama, someone from the SEC that historically has been good in the past few years. Um, but it's like you said, it's kind of hard to tell at this point.
A lot of basketball.
A lot more
No one
basketball.
goes undefeated.
And like I think I say this with all sports, who can stay healthiest
Yeah.
the longest? And that's the other thing. Iowa State, we got hit with the injury bug by a couple of our players. And when they get hurt, it hurts. It hurts the team big time. Just, it changes the dynamic of who's on, who's not.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'm not too worried. I know we're in the tournament.
You'll be
My
fine.
biggest thing is, can we be at least
But
a three seed or better
yeah,
overall going into it?
I feel like
And
the death wish is winning the Big 12 conference tournament.
that's what happened to us last year. So we went all out. We won the
The
thing.
winner of the Big 12 tournament typically doesn't do it.
We do that. And the thing is, we can never win it in regular season. Kansas does that historically. But we'll win the Big 12 tournament. So that we got all this momentum, you think. But last year, we literally lost like one of our key players doing that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, LSU was up 18 tonight on Kentucky and lost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, yep, I think you're nailing the head. It's too early to tell in the world of basketball, but also it's basketball. Anybody can beat anybody.
LSU
Some,
seems to find a way to win, man. They don't.
the right team gets hot. The right team plays the right strategy with them.
It's,
The other thing, all right, so we'll switch topics from
yeah.
Iowa State. Let's go into you talked about you want to talk about the Jaguars reporter.
I just wanted to touch on this. Did you see this reporter thing that
I've
everyone's made a
heard it,
comment
saw it. I
on?
actually watched her on the news in
What
Jacksonville.
was your initial reaction before you heard anything else about her?
I I thought she was just like everybody else, kind of like I thought it was
I,
kind of like a fan
I
slash
yeah.
Instagram person who's just like, hey, good job, congrats on a great season. Also, they're the Jaguars, so to have a successful season like they did, I mean, it's a first year coach. Why not?
So before even hearing the fact that this lady's worked for the team and covered the team for like 25, 30 years and has basically been a part of all these awful Jaguar teams
Yep.
and covered these awful teams, I don't care. I don't think it's worth anyone making a comment on. Like, who cares?
That
If she
that
want
they
if
had a
she
good
wants
season
to
or not.
like if she wants to say no, I'm saying like if she wants to say like something nice, like she who cares? Why does anyone else care?
Also, it's this, yeah, as a coach, if someone started off the thing saying, "Hey, good job, coach," obviously I'm upset or emotional, but she talked about that. So she said she felt the whole time in the room, in the press conference room, they were kind of all commiserating around with each other, and
Yeah.
it's it was a little emotional. So I think she just kind of felt it. And when she finally had the mic, she just kind of said it. So I have no beef. Now I get the journalism ethics and all this other stuff, but like,
I
hey, whatever,
honestly I
we're
don't think
talking
it's
about it
journalism ethics
as a
as much as they just want to like go home and submit their article,
correct, correct. And you know
which
what?
it's like, dude, wait 3 seconds.
We're happy ball.
Yeah.
So to be honest, she's bringing some joy and it's happiness. So
I
I'm
think
all for it.
she represents what we're all about here.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd love shoot and get her on the show.
Well, that was it. I just wanted to talk through that because I've seen so many takes on it, and I guess I just want to make it clear that like I don't think anyone cares. Like anyone at like normal cares.
Um,
Back to college football.
College football portal. So the portal closes this Friday. Since today's the 14th.
It
Well,
closes to join it. It doesn't close to get commits.
so the portals, if you're in the transfer portal, you got from like the 2nd to the 16th. So you got like 2 weeks.
So you have to enter, or do you have to commit?
You have to find a team.
Oh,
You got 14 days to find it. Like, so that's why there's like 4,000 players in the portal. So
I
that's the
don't think you
crazy.
have to commit.
I, you, yeah, you're correct on that. You don't have to commit, but that's when the portal closes.
Closes.
Now, the
You have to
realistic,
wait till spring.
if I'm a player and I'm in that portal, I'm going to be on a team by the 16th.
Yeah,
If I entered the portal, I better have had a plan.
yeah.
I better knew like two or three other teams that I thought I would be a great fit for, maybe previous coaches. And that's the other thing. That's the whole point of the recruiting process.
Well, the
But
last domino just fell with Dante Moore saying he's coming back,
he's coming back. So
which
Oregon
I
having
think
Dante, it's huge.
instantly makes Oregon the team to pick, right?
It makes him the contender
Has to be.
right away. And then also if as long as the Nebraska coach Dylan, who's just moved over and signed like a day or so ago. He's the backup.
You know
Dante
what?
Moore,
And I think
Dante Moore was the backup. It
I
all
guess
works.
I totally get the move because he doesn't have to be the messiah at Oregon, like the way Nebraska was viewing him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Let
Um,
him grow, let him get better.
and he may just not be like that. You know what I mean? Like he may not want to play with that type of label. It's like just let me play free. Don't make me out to be this like savior.
Now, in the world of, I'm excited for Oregon, I guess, for the sake of the coaching staff to have a big play like that. But then also you as an LSU Tiger fan, like Glover, you gotta be, dude, you just have like three guys in the portal that you
So
snagged.
4 days ago, I was sending around lists of who I wanted, and it contained Landon Clark. It contained the USC 5 star that went in, and it contained Sam Levitt. And I was just wanting one of them. Come to today, we have all three. Absolutely insane job by Lane Kiffin. And I
So is
was,
that, here's the other thing, does Lane get the credit or is that
yes,
now is that the general manager?
I think, okay,
So
I
that's
give
so
I give Lane the credit because if we have to give Lane, if it's all Lane's fault at Ole Miss, it's all Lane's gain at LSU because I feel like it's his work ethic. He's just like I'll wake up on Pacific time, right? So I'll wake up, I'll check my phone, and I'll see multiple stories from Lane Kiffin at the office, at the football ops building in Baton Rouge, working overtime. I mean, the story of him traveling to meet Sam Levitt in Knoxville, Tennessee, to catch him before he left to go visit Miami. And this guy still went to Miami while Miami's in the national championship game,
championship.
and
Yep.
he's still committed to LSU. It's just a
With
great
with
job.
and also with the other positive part about that is while he was at LSU, they were like at a basketball game or something that we saw the photos of, and it
Well,
seemed like that that was when
apparently, it did not end well with the Damon thing happening. So the fact that he was able to kind of fix the relationship and bring him back,
and we're talking about
it's,
uh Damon
it's
from University of Washington all of a
correct.
sudden
Damon
re-entered
Williams
entered the portal all of a
during
sudden.
the basketball game while
Yeah.
Sam Levitt is visiting, sitting right next to Lane Kiffin. News drops. Apparently, that did not go over well. That the hot name for Damon Williams was LSU. He leaves to go visit Tennessee. And I got to say, Lane, this was a very Coach O type of move to jump on a plane and go see the kid and not let him leave until you stated your case.
I think
That is a Coach Orgeron move. That is a classic
yeah.
SEC recruiting move.
I was gonna say the good coaches, they have all the resources around them at those levels, so they can hop on the plane or make that. To us, it seems crazy, but to them, they're like, "Hey, it's a 30-minute flight. I go to Boom Boom. I literally show up in Timbuktu. I talk to you on your couch, and then I'm right back out of there. I just need 10 minutes." And like that's the
So
crazy thing is how can you convince an 18-year-old man to come to your town in like 5, 10 minutes?
you have to differentiate yourself. And one of those ways is making the trip. Right. I would say this too. I mean, before the quarterback commitments, I was starting to think maybe get ready. I mean, if you've seen LSU schedule this year, it's pretty tough. So I was thinking to myself, maybe get ready to see LSU go 7-5, very realistically
It's
in
got
year
us.
one. Now I'm starting to think like, okay, 9-3. They still got to do some work on the offensive line. Done a pretty good job defensively. I think they'll be really good on defense. There's a ton of weapons, but you got to have an offensive line. So obviously, feel good about the quarterback room. Quarterbacks give you a couple extra wins, I think. Um, I could see this team being a fringe playoff team as of right now, which look at Miami. You make the dance, you make the most of it. You never know.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the game, right? You make the playoff.
All right, here's my random thing. I know we're talking portal, but real quick, Indiana and Miami, who has more to gain by winning this game?
It's got to be Indiana.
First national championship versus Miami, who's,
I think
the U,
Miami,
everybody says the U's back, right? If they win, they're back.
but I feel like Miami, because of the brand and because we've seen them commit in the NIL era and be a player in the transfer portal, consistently getting a top quarterback to play for them. And they've proven this
Yeah.
year how well their offensive and defensive line is. I don't think Miami's going anywhere, especially in the ACC. Whereas I think Indiana is still proving doubters wrong.
Hmm.
Um, and look, I'll be the first to admit I'm having trouble getting past seeing that IU logo play the way they do.
It's different. I mean, for our generation, yeah, we did not see them be successful very often at all. And but that's the fun part. That's what I love about college sports versus
So I
the
think Indiana has more to lose because
yeah.
you can't just assume you're going to go back.
Yep. Got to win it now
Like
while
you,
you have
like
the
it's so
opportunity.
easy, I think, for Indiana fans right now to think, oh man, we're just gonna like Signetti, dude. Things
Oh,
move quick, things
yeah.
change quick, especially in this playoff era, in the NIL era. Like
Just think of Oregon, and
there's so
Texas
much more
Tech. Those
parity.
are
There's
two
so much more
schools,
parity. Yeah, you're either
two
getting worse
schools.
or you're getting
Man.
better, and they're gonna have to replace a lot of guys.
Hmm.
And a lot of the reason why this Indiana team is so good is their chemistry is insane.
Well, I think you were talking about that last episode where we are talking James Mason. So a lot of those guys came over from,
James
or James
Madison, yeah,
Madison,
yeah,
or James Madison. So they all came over from James Madison. But you also, if you look at the thing, they're all kind of like BYU guys from back in the day, where they're
experience,
all 20,
older,
21,
yeah.
22, 23. And then also with the NILs, and every single player is trying to stay 6, 7 seasons now, as long as they humanly can, because the NFL is no guarantee. So take the guarantee, whether it's 100K or $1 million in the bag, right? So I'm all happy for these players getting their chance at it. I just hope we get the more rules and in place to benefit everybody, but also doesn't hurt the sport in
You
general.
know, a lot's been made about Indiana's experience and how old the roster is compared to
Hmm.
others. If you look at Miami, they're kind of a good blend of that
Young,
plus
young and old.
superstar young players.
Yeah, they're one wide receiver who's like supposed to be in high school still.
A Tony.
Yeah, so like when you got freaks like that who can just do that. When I coached at Wayne State, the coach would always say, "That's a cat now,"
Mm-hmm.
and that guy's a cat. So,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only a few of those, and I think LSU got a couple cats in the portal. You got the Auburn wide receiver Coleman.
No, he went to Texas.
He went to Texas. Okay, so never mind. No, oh, that's what I sent you that guy because I just said Manning just literally can just
Yeah, Cam Coleman went to Texas. He's going to be very good there.
run a shovel
Uh,
pass and he's gone.
yeah,
Like they gotta, and then he's gonna make the safeties and corners have to respect the deep ball.
but LSU's
Everything else.
recording. I'm starting to notice with Lane Kiffin his recruiting style, especially his wide receivers. He goes after a specific type. He goes after like not necessarily like a big name
Hmm.
and not necessarily from a big school, but they play with a certain chip on their shoulder, and you can tell they're guys that bring a certain edge to your offense.
Yeah.
And I think a big problem a lot of teams are facing right now too, and I think this is an SEC issue right now, is everyone's getting paid a lot of money. Motivation's as low as it's ever been. So you got to find guys who are going to get paid and be motivated.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of these no tags or no reach
The
outs,
do not contacts.
do not contacts. I've seen that on there. But then was it Colorado's offensive lineman who just hit the portal was
Yeah.
asking for 2.5. So
Would
like
love would love to see him in Baton Rouge.
but that's the thing. He already knows his worth.
Yeah.
or at least has a good idea of what his worth is, and being a projected first round offensive lineman,
It's because these guys, they have someone who contacts teams saying, hey, if so and so enters the portal, how much are we talking?
right? Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
the short list has already been made half the time for these guys when they enter the portal.
And that's what the NFL, so the NFL is, I was went to a little bit deep dive with the portal world. NFL has agents. College now has agents. Now
Mm-hmm.
NFL has a whole rules and stipulation of what the agents and all this background checks. And that's where I think we're seeing some of these talks with these college coaches. And they just did the coaches conference. They always start at the end of start for the beginning of the year, and the coaches were complaining
Mm-hmm.
left, right, and center about what is this guy a real agent? Is he just somebody's uncle that's a lawyer? Is he
Well, in the
like
NFL, you have to have a master's degree to be an agent.
so? But there is no rules. The NCAA is making everybody abide by as of right now. So it is still unfortunately the Wild Wild West. But on a positive spin, the chaos is making it one. I think it's going to make
Can't
this
stop
game.
watching.
It's going to make this game better, but also it's going to make the next game better, the NFL. So just kind of figuring out the NFL needs to figure out how can we make this as our true farm league still versus becoming a conflict of interest where guys don't want to leave. Because if I'm Tim Tebow, I would have stayed for 27 years at Florida,
Yeah.
right? Because why leave? So those are my 2 cents on that. I also very, very happy about just seeing guys find places.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. Guys just need to find a place, and sometimes
I think
you
it's
pick the
great
wrong
that
school.
guys. I think that guys have. I think it feels really good that guys don't feel backed into going pro like they used to.
Yes,
Because you had guys who would go too early. I'd rather guys go too late than too early. Because
absolutely.
at least too late, you got some licks in, man. You played a little ball.
Well, speaking of ball, um, we have a couple more things on our agenda, but we only got so much time. So I want to keep us moving on our show. College football scheduling. Want to just hit a little nail on the head there of like, what are you thinking of the scheduling? Are you talking about like how
Well,
we
it
condense it, start it sooner?
it kind of plays off what you just said. And I guess I think of schedule and I really think of like, as college football fans, we think of like, oh man, if they just change this, it'd be perfect. Is there something beautiful in the imperfection that is college sports, aka college football? Like it gets everyone talking about it.
I'm gonna show you. So this is like one of the last weeks. So Thanksgiving week, then we go to the big matchups. So December 6th,
Championship weekend, yeah.
right? And then nothing. So
Right.
that's where we need to be doing potentially bowl games. That's where they were taught. I heard earlier some people are saying, "Hey, why don't we do the 13th game and then they play, but there's no punishment."
See, the issue with
But
all this is that like as long as we have the various league commissioners looking out for the best interest for their conferences, like there's not going to be uniformity is the issue. Like I think the season's too long. I
it
would I would
is.
almost start I would almost start mid August.
But then now these guys are playing where it could be crazy hot temperatures in the South. It's
They're still
out.
practicing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's just games. It's just one of those things where all of a sudden your star receiver starts cramping up because it's the first week and didn't get enough electrolytes the night before.
I feel like you would start a week earlier than you do now if you could take away one non-conference game and then find a way to make the championship game actually be something that means something for the playoff.
So what when we're looking at this, would we want to be playing
Like this is where
like week 16 needs to be actually some games, or the
uh
very beginning of the season we start, so week 0 really starts.
yeah, it's just
Everybody.
a way to add some uniformity to the schedules. We need more non-conference games against Power 5 teams, Power 4 teams.
Yeah, I get you there.
Like that's one thing the NFL does such a great job of is the scheduling and the formula that they use where you get set up with a specific division based off the record the previous year. That makes a lot of sense.
So that's where I feel like our game, where we're kind of breaking up these schools as tiers. So now imagine like all it is you're going to play 4 teams from this tier, 4 teams from this tier, and then the rest all come. So like that's how we'll kind of start thinking about how we'll start college football, but also how maybe the scheduling gets broken down. It makes it simplified, but also we're having quality games. And then people can't argue that. Yes, Notre Dame, LSU are in the same conference now.
Well, it's like the conferences are too big. You can't
Yeah.
play everybody.
You can't,
Texas and LSU could have two completely different conference schedules.
which is why we love sports. I think at this, and maybe why we love
And then
college
it's the whole
sport.
like you only play the games you have, but it's like it's not the breaking up of the Pac-12 is the worst thing that ever happened to this sport.
Yes, I think that's completely hurt the sport. And it's crazy because you and I grew up with the Pac 16 was a thing that they were talking about at one point, which was actually going to move Texas and Oklahoma, or just Texas was going to leave the Big 12 and all that. So,
All right, I know we're running out of time here.
yeah,
Do you want to jump into the
the
four
game.
teams? Yeah, the four
Yep.
teams,
Let's play our games.
our Premier League tier list.
Yes. All right. So this is what we had from last time. Okay. So we had Michigan, Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, Oklahoma, the Miami, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Indiana. That's the first 10. Georgia. No, this is in no particular order for anybody who's watching and gets upset. Why is my team? And this is going to be in a living organism that's going to just keep constantly moving. But BYU, UW, you can barely see it, but there's Iowa, Ole Miss, USC, and then we got Illinois, Missouri, and Georgia Tech. Now we got room for 2 more. Now I think what we're gonna do this is the whole point is we're how did everything end 2025 rolling into 2026? This is our tiers of what how did you everybody end up this year in their power rankings as if we were in the European Soccer League.
But we're rolling into next year, so it's based off what's happening right now, correct?
Correct. So, like, as much as I want, as an Iowa State fan, say, hey, yeah, at least Iowa State should be like inconsiderate of it because we won 8 games, could have won 9 potentially, and should have
I
won
mean,
more. But the thing is,
Has
we
LSU
lost everybody.
recruited themselves into this top 20?
They might have,
I mean, they're definitely tier 2,
and that's where I think this is going to be an organic
but
thing. Glover,
I think they're right there.
think about like Oklahoma State,
I'm
who,
not ready for them yet because I need to see what that North Texas coach can do.
right? He brought the whole team over. That's
Mm-hmm. The
um,
Signetti treatment.
but then
So
you have a Houston who had a
I
phenomenal
I'd
season.
put Houston at tier 2.
And is like a Penn State. But all right, but here we go. We got 2 more teams. Who's gonna potentially fit that bill to be in here? And this is the other thing, like I said, Glover, these could be placeholders. We can move guys around. So if you're like LSU, I mean, we still got Clemson. Utah's always
Clemson's
Utah.
one. I just need to see what they're
Utah's
doing at quarterback.
feel like Pitt was like 1 or 2
Like
games away from.
SMU, I'd feel good putting in a tier 2. Houston, I'd feel good putting in tier 2. Virginia Tech, I'd feel good putting in tier 2. Um, if we're just talking like organization here,
Yep.
scroll down to our options below.
I mean, those Boise State's always somebody. Navy had a phenomenal season.
Scroll back up.
Sounds crazy as much as like
I feel like you got to put SMU in there.
that's what I was gonna say SMU, and I wish Utah coach is not at Michigan now, or
And
I would put Utah up there.
I kind of like, do you put Vanderbilt? I feel
It,
like LSU could sneak in there just because of the way they've recruited the quarterback position. Like when you look at these different teams and you look at the quarterback position, which one do you trust the most?
right
I trust
now,
LSU the most.
right now, if I was going to a game though, I would put Arizona
Yeah,
because
but
like
are they keeping their quarterback?
as of right now, everybody's there.
Okay.
Arizona hasn't had too much craziness that I know of, compared to a lot of other moves in the Big 12. Like their coach is there, everyone was kind of younger there, and they had a successful season. So they're definitely on that fringe tier two.
I would feel good putting them in tier two. I don't know if I'd put them in tier one.
I mean, like I hear you about your LSU Tigers, but like you could say the same
are
thing
you
about Penn
putting
State.
the tier twos in there?
Not yet. I'm holding off. Right now, we're just gonna fill this last spot for tier one, and then we're gonna call it.
Okay. Um yeah, but see, you don't who's playing quarterback at Penn State?
It's gonna be Rocco Beck.
Who's that?
Iowa State's like record-breaking quarterback for everything except other than Brock Purdy. So
Is he that dude though?
he's gonna be a dude that knows the offense and is gonna
I
walk into it. I hope he has success. I hope he has success because that's like as a Cyclone fan, we're all just cheering for them because they're in a different stage. Can they handle the elements of what they're given? And can they live up to it? And that all of a sudden it's just a
I'd
chance for
put
them to
LSU
show.
in over Penn State right now. Just because LSU has brought in from all over the place and they're
Yeah.
still building the offensive line. They're going to keep getting guys.
What
The
about,
headline for Penn State is it's mostly Iowa State guys,
yeah, absolutely.
which I guess we don't really know what that means
Well, they were a 8-4 team that
in the Big 12, right?
got the injury bug that should have been more like a 10-win team at least if they weren't playing with like
Right.
true freshmen straight off the Iowa farm. Um, yeah, we'll put LSU, but I'm going to push back on that because
That's okay.
I think
I,
organically that's going to change. Also, I think Ole Miss could drop and Iowa could drop, and there's some other things in here that we can move around.
I would drop Ole Miss.
Yeah,
I would drop Ole Miss for sure.
and now I'm
But
like now,
again, I sound like I sound like Twitter when I talk about LSU and Ole Miss. And it if Chambliss gets the appeal, I leave them in the top 10, 20. If they don't, I move them out. It's as simple as that.
and the other thing is we could play this game where we could just say, hey, you got to pick only four schools from each major conference until we kind of so it's evenly divided. There's
Yeah, maybe for next time, let's if you want to send me what schools we have to do, like just send me a screenshot of the bottom parts,
yeah,
everything under the top 20, or has as much as you can send me the two,
yeah,
and we can make it a little faster. I can have like a couple picked out.
absolutely. We can do that.
Like
Oh,
what we'll do is like you pick your two teams and I'll pick two teams, and this is to start with tier two.
yeah. Like I said, this is going to be our live organic list that we'll put out, and then it'll just be the fun running debate of where people should be and where they should be ranked. Um, and it's going to be not just because of how good their football team is. I feel like it should magnitude of we'll talk about like kind of the brand, the image, all that as well. Because like I said, this is the whole point is these are like the New York Yankees where everybody from another country just like knows, hey, I know that school,
Well, yeah, but that's your tier ones, right? Like your Texases,
Michigans and all
your
that, right?
Bamas, yeah.
So that's
Okay,
the whole point. We're gonna figure that out. We're gonna save the world by this list of college sports. All right, well, we'll wrap that up with that fun game, and we'll get into tier two next time. and today is Wednesday, January 14th. We'll be meeting back on, I think it's going to be that Saturday or Sunday.
It might have to be Sunday
Predicting.
because Saturday we got the Seahawks.
We do have the Seahawks on Saturday. So,
Want to do a last minute prediction?
yeah, let's do it for this before we
Go
wrap
ahead.
up.
We got a minute 25.
For the Seahawks,
Yeah.
I think Seahawks win, but it's going to be way too close.
And then
And it's
what
gonna be
about
like,
what about the Bears, Rams?
I think it's going to be the Rams. I think the NFC West, the Super Bowl runs through the NFC West.
Who's your preferred Super Bowl matchup if it is the Seahawks?
I don't want the Patriots. Just because the Seahawks and the Patriots, just in general, I feel like the Patriots will just win it just because
Bad
they're the
vibes.
Patriots. So bad vibes.
All right.
What about you?
Well, I kind of agree with you.
Okay. Prediction score, I got 24-21.
I like that. I was going to go 31-20.
I like that better.
Late tutty to break it open.
All right. Well,
Until next time.
till next time, Glover. Thanks for watching. Happy ball.
Bye.